yeah, what's up, guys? How's everyone feeling today? The date is April 26, 2025, and the current time is 8:23 p.m. EST. I'm hella late, I know. Get off my dick. You don't gotta say shit about it. But anyway, moving on. We're feeling great today. We chilling, we vibing. We're gonna be doing some cook-up tutorials. I feel like I'm back where I want to be mentally wise to continue a tutorial series for you guys. Because the last tutorial I made was like, what, 5 or 6 months ago, actually. No, technically 5 months ago. But we're going to continue on, and then for the first return, I'm going to be doing a live stream in-depth tutorial. That way I could be teaching you guys the bare minimum basics to get you started for the upcoming tutorials I'm working on. Because those are going to be quick 10 to 15 minute tutorials, and I'm not going to go in depth on what it is that I'm doing in those, because everything I'm doing in those I'll be explaining in here. We're going to make a track from scratch, and every little minute detail will be explained. And also, if you have questions, go to the chat and just ask away. I'm looking right at the chat. It's literally right in front of my face. There's no way I'm going to overlook a question. And if I do, it's because I'm stockpiling questions, or that question might be along the lines of what I'm about to talk about. So, like I said before, get your pen, your paper, your notepads, because this also goes for mixing. This isn't just music production. This is mixing. This is vocal layouts. This is track loadouts. This is every little minor detail you need to know to get you started on creating my own signature genre of drum and bass, space drum and bass. So, light your blunt, subscribe, do what you need to do. It don't matter. But yeah, we're going to get started. The track you guys heard is something I'm working on before I hit the clean slate option. It's a track that I'm working on. I'm calling it Weekday Vamp or Vampire on a Weekday. And the premises of the song, I'm not really going to explain too much in depth, but the premises of the song is just more so for us night owls. Like, we consider ourselves vampires and shit, and just living a normal weekday life as a vampire fucking sucks. So that's what you were hearing before the vocals was laid down. But we're gonna go ahead and hit empty, and everything I'm teaching you will be on FL Studios. Weekday Vamp, gotta save the project. But everything I will be teaching you guys is on FL Studios. 1 second. Settings, chat filter, all messages. That way I can see everybody's and not just top. But I'll be teaching you guys how to be using FL Studios. Everything I'm teaching you that's bare minimum can be applied to Logic or Ableton or Cakewalk, if anybody even fucking used that. Even fucking BandLab for real. Or Audacity or Reason or whatever. But everything I'll be teaching you guys will definitely go for those as well. It'll probably just be under a different name on whatever DAW you're using. But the keywords I'm using in each software that I'll be using when I make things, it will be in the the keywords would let you know what you need to use. So, for example, if I want to use like an equalizer and EQ out some frequencies, the keyword would be equalizer. So just type in equalizer in your software search up on your DAW, and then it'll just give you whatever ones. But the VSTs that I will be using are all for the most part free. If you guys need the links, just say I need the link, and my gal Meta will look up the link for you guys and post it for each question as we go. And I'll also be having the links and stuff in the description. So everything I'll be using in this, like I said, is mostly free. The sounds that I'll be using are free. They are from my BeatStars. My BeatStars page, I'm just getting all of this out of the way because it'll help you in the long run. But just go on my channel, hit the links, go to BeatStars, and I'm going to just show you guys. Fuck it. Hold on. We're live streaming. I said in-depth tutorial. This is Spaceboy University. You can't get this shit nowhere the fuck else. Beatstars.com. Shit. Alright. let's open up a new source for you guys so you guys can see what I'm doing. Shit, let's see, window capture. Add source. How is everybody feeling today? I forgot to even ask y'all that. I also want to thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday, who showed up for the birthday stream / album release. I really do appreciate it because y'all genuinely didn't have to show up, and I appreciate y'all for that. BeatStars profile opera. Go ahead and do that. Transition. Bam. Alright, it's loading up now. I'm actually going to close that because that'll save me some time on the load up. But what you want to do is you want to type in beatstars.com/alienboy. Don't ask why I named it Alien Boy, and then the page is Space Boy. But if you rap, I got beats in there too, so I'm just throw that out there now. But I have 2 free things. So the VST I'll be using is Purity. If you have Purity, great, cool. If not, it's not that expensive. I could also yarg the link for you. Join the Discord, and I'll be giving the link for that as well. But we got my Space Dreams Purity pack, and Space DNB derived from drum and bass, but also the reason why I call it Space DNB because I like low frequency sounds and low end and bass boosted music. So Space DNB is just drum and bass with emphasis on the bass and low frequencies. So hey, Meta Spaceboy said to ask you for the links to the free downloads. Yeah, I'll also be helping out with that as well as I'm talking. Not mistaken, it's actually in the description of the video for the one that I'm talking about now. No, it is not. Give me a second. I'll grab that link for you and post it. Link, beatstars.com. Copy link. Done. Let's open that back up. Paste that link here. Paste. Bam. Alright, that's the BeatStars link. So if you have the VST Purity, which you will have to pay for unless otherwise you're gonna pirate it. I'm gonna just be real. But this is the Purity Space Dreams. We'll be using this preset to make a track. I'll give you guys an idea of what it sounds like just by playing the demo. Like spacey ethereal sounds. That's the sounds you're hearing is stuff that I've made through Purity using that. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the whole song because you guys would get the idea. But this is free. Just hit that download button and you can download that. And the second free pack we're gonna be working with, somewhat working with. I'm mostly going to be using my Level Up Jungle Kit because that's my favorite go-to one. Didn't have to hit download. But Maiden's Blessing pack. It comes with, I believe, like 20-something different sounds and shit as far as like drum breaks. Here we go. Delve into the ethereal bliss with my Maiden's Blessing break pack. This pack has 20 heavenly one-shot pads, so you really don't need the VST. Because all the sounds that I made, the one-shot pads, were made from the Purity pack. Because I kept in mind some people might not have Purity. So I automatically use the sounds that I made and just made one shot. So you guys could just throw it on a piano rack and just play it out as is. 15 immersive breaks. 1 new liquid motion top that fits any jungle style. And I can guarantee you it fits any jungle style. So we're going to be working with Maiden's Blessing and then a Purity pre-pack. But for those of you who don't have Maiden Blessing, I'm most likely just going to be making this track. I meant Purity, I'm most likely going to be making this track using Maiden's Blessing. So go ahead and download it. Follow along if you want to. Let's get to work. Now that I got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and hide that. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and close the browser. So for Space DNB, I liked what makes Space DNB like different from your normal drum and bass. Drum and bass normally is 155 BPM if you want to be that low, to around 170, 172. That's the general beats per minute that you can use for drum and bass in general. Breakcore is 175 to 200. Shoegaze is 100 to 128. So it literally just depends on the overall vibe and style that you want to, go as far as your track. But with Space DNB, I like to keep it in the 140 to 165, 66-ish range. 66 because there's certain fade outs that require a 1 BPM to be higher than the rest of the track. So I usually keep it at 165, and if it calls for a BPM change, I'll export the track, but we'll get into that later. So we're just going to start at the peak 165. That way it's also teaching you jungle as well as Space DNB. So we're going to go down... that's Void talking. We're going to be going to our Maiden's Blessing break pack right here. And we're going to go to the one-shot pads. That way I can show you guys the sounds. Like I said, Space DNB is a very low-frequency, ethereal-sounding style of DNB. So you're going to hear a lot of low-end, like, woo, or hums, or synths, like high-end energy synths. Like, not high-end, but like calming synths. Stuff like that, Like, you hear it all has a style to it. Like, when you hear it, the first thing you think is, I'm in fucking space. So well, you're not in me, but you know what I mean. Let's get that straight. But, we're going to use Le Moulin. I like Le Moulin. And a lot of these are named after just like, stuff from my childhood. Le Moulin was one of my favorite characters from Tekken 3. Ray Gun, Alien style shit. PS1 vibes. Void, shit like that. Like, it all has a theme to it. So, Void be talking always. Yeah, of course. But, there's two ways you could go about making a melody, and what I did was I took it, left click, hold it down, and then drag it to the channel rack, and then bam. There's two ways you could go about making your melodies as far as style. Like, do you want to go the lazy approach and just like let it play itself and then just put random key points somewhere where it's going to automatically sound good? Or you could get down to the nitty gritty and do it I normally do. That way you have full control. I normally tell people to do the second option. I'll be showing that in a minute. But since it's already loaded up, I can explain the first option first. So the first option, the lazy route, like I said, you take your sound, pull it to your channel rack, you right click it, because I'll also be giving hotkeys as well. So you right click it, go down to where it says cut itself, because you're not going to be able to see it from what I'm showing because it's a third-party window. But once you do that, it'll say cut itself. We're going to do that. And then after that, right-click again, open piano roll, and then it'll open up the piano roll. So the lazy approach you could do, so instead of tediously putting it down and stretching out here, and shit, and making sure they all connect or intricate patterns like I normally do, you can just take the lazy man approach. Put small node here. It really don't matter where you put it. It's going to sound good no matter where you put it. So small node there, there, and then bam. See, like stuff like that. Like, that's the lazy man approach to it. So let's see what these comments are before I continue on. No offense to Void, lol. He has held it down in the chat with the mods. Of course, I got my pen and paper taking notes. Good. Alright, so like I said, that's the lazy man approach. I'm gonna go over that one more time. So the lazy man approach, just put random nodes down. So with the piano roll, I'm going to be playing in the note of C. So if you don't know your music theory, the best way to go about that, there's this little wrench thing here. If you hit that, my bad, not the wrench thing, the little triangle thing right here. Hit that and you would go to where it says View, Scale Highlighting. Oh my god, Scale Highlighting. One sec. I had to take this phone call. 1 second, guys. It's kind of important. Mute myself. And we are back. I apologize about that. Like I was saying, the lazy man approach, but I explained how to change the key. Hit that triangle button, go down to where it says View, Scale Highlighting. We're going to put it at root C, and then we're going to go back to View again. And the scale highlighting, it's automatically going to snap it to grid. So how you know if you're on scale or not, or on key, if you want to call it that, if you pay attention, this is your C note. Everything that's in the C note range is going to be highlighted white on the key frame, and everything that's highlighted black is going to be a half note or off note. So the best way I figure out how to learn how to do music theory and just make melodies and just constantly keep pushing out different kinds of melodies is literally just keep it at C note, because if you learn C note, the rest of the notes will come with ease because you're constantly doing the same thing. It's just building a workflow. So C note, we're going to put that there, and it's going to sound good no matter where you put it because it's all on key note. So, alright. See? Like, as long as it's on those white notes, those white lines, you're going to be on key no matter what. But that's not the melody that I'm going to be making out of it. So I'm going to make the melody real quick, the lazy man approach, and then we're going to go over the more in-depth approach, the way that I normally do it. That way you have full control over everything. So I'm going to put this here, there, on a half step, and then I'm going to put this here, there. Yeah. And as you can see, there's your basic melody for that. And this is where I'm going to teach you a little more in depth on like the lazy man approach of making melodies. If you want to do like mid slides and stuff in the melody, so it's like you can make a slide and shit. This little thing right here, hit that where it says slide, put it anywhere, bring it down to a 1 node or a 1 bar, and so you see where it starts here. You could put it anywhere from here to here where it starts. Me, I like to put it midway through to the beginning. So I'm going to keep that one normal. Then I'm going to put this here. And then, because it's going to go, and slide down to here. And then it's going to go here. And then I'm going to have this, another slide note. I'm going to have it midway through sliding here, so it can slide down to there. So all slides do is just naturally progress the movement of a melody. So rather than layering out your melody and making multiple melodies, slides makes your jobs easier because it automatically shifts the sound of the melody. That way you can make multiple variations out of just one melody. So I said melody a lot, I know. See what I mean? Stuff like that, like those slide notes literally just changes the dynamic. So what I'm going to do is put this here, put that there, and then I'm going to take those, pull that over, then I'm going to delete the slide notes that I just made, because what I did was already make 4 bars. And 4 bars to a melody is a good start, but it's going to get repetitive real quick. So I normally like to work anywhere from 18 to 16 bars on a melody. So after, like I said, make sure your first part is normal. Take out your slides. And then the slides in the second part stay, because that's going to be the variation of the melody. So when you start laying stuff down, you can use what you want to use. That's the best way to have full control over a track, taking the lazy man approach. So this is what the melody is going to sound like until we move on to the, the better option, in my opinion, on how to make melodies. See, simple as that. And there's a couple of things that sound off key on this for me. And it's this one. I'm gonna pull that up. But other than that, the melody is done. If you wanted to keep it simple, the melody is done. We're gonna go more in depth in the actual beat using both ways after I teach you the basics of both ways. Just want to keep that in mind. That is the melody for this part. And now we're going to work on what I like to call a sub-melody. And a sub-melody or a counter-melody is just a melody that follows the groove of the main melody. So we're at 165, and then we're making space DNB. So when it comes to counter-melodies, the main melody should always be like ethereal and spacious, you know what I mean? Like, and a counter-melody is always supposed to be not as ethereal, but more spacious. So where you thought you couldn't get any more space out of a melody, the counter melody just doubles it. So what I mean by doubling it, for example, let's find another sound. Let's see, another sound that I normally would use in a space track. It's not on the pack that I told you guys was free. This one is by my guy Suzuki-san. Shout out him, his booster pack King Cork 5. The King's Court pad right here. This would be a perfect pad to make a counter melody out of it, because it's more space than it is low end involved in that. So same thing, leave it the way it is, the lazy man approach. Right click, cut itself, then you go to piano roll after right clicking again, and just follow the melody. Literally just all you have to do is just follow the melody you already made for yourself, because that's all a counter melody does. It gives a different dynamic or a different perspective to the melody that's already established. So let's go ahead and do that. And for the counter melodies, you don't have to add slides or anything like that unless you want to, but you don't have to, because the point of the counter melody is just to fluff up, fluff up the main melody. So once that's there, Control or Command if you're on Mac, and left click to highlight all of that, and then hit the Alt button. I don't know what it is for Mac because I don't use Mac. Hit the Alt button, and then on your scroll wheel on the mouse, just scroll it down while holding the Alt button to turn the velocity down. And once you do that, I'm gonna let you guys hear it without the King's Court pad first, and then I'm gonna progress it into the King's Court pad because that's what a counter melody does. It's more of a progression slash fluffer. So like, see what I mean? By the way, how's the volume, by the way, as far as like the music in the background? I don't know why, but it sounds hella low in my ear, and I don't know why. That's why, because it is low. Haha, that was on me. But as you can see, that's the anyone that was gone for the intermission. If you have questions, please ask. Space won't bite. Well, at least not now. He's had his fill of blood for the day. I damn sure did. Not gonna lie, it's a little quiet. Much better. I thought so because I had it toned down on my mixer. But that's a basic counter melody. Just a melody following the main root of the melody. But you can do a little flair and mix up with it, which is why I'm about to get to that. So the counter melody is already on key. Yeah, because my voice is really loud because I'm like smack dead in front of the fucking microphone. But the counter melody is going to follow the main melody, but since in this case the counter melody and the main melody are within the same semitone, it's not really doing the oomph that I want it to. And what I mean by semitone, so there's keys and then there's semitones. Keys is your relative key scale. Semitones are the pitches within that key scale. So we're in the key scale of C right now. A semitone would just be dropping it down by one. So if you hit shift and then down, you're dropping it down by semitone. Or if you hit up, you're raising it by a semitone. But since there's seven semitones to a key. So what me personally in my space yes, I'm using FL Studio B. In my way that I use it when I'm making space DNB, I like to keep the melody either in a mid to high semitone key. So C5 1. I'm at C5-7, which is where we're at right now. C5-7 would be a mid key for the C. But for the counter melody, I want it to either be low or high. So in this case, the main melody is at a mid. So I want to bring the counter melody down. So I want to bring it down at least 7 semitones. So for that, you hold down Control and then the down button, and it automatically drops it down by 7 semitones. Once you do that, then you can give it a listen to, and you can hear how lowering it down instead of raising it just brings more oomph to the low end for this genre. And then that was the low end, and this is what it sounded like beforehand. Like, it sounds great, but it sounds too mid and too high. Not enough low, not enough like not enough hum, So bring that down by 7 semitones, and then you got yourself a low counter melody. Now, if you want to be different with the counter melody, that way it's not exactly following it, hit Alt Y, and all that's going to do is flip it horizontally or flip it vertically. Your choice is going to give you the option. We're going to hear how it sounds horizontally first, and then I'm going to give it vertically, and then I'm going to do both just to see what it sounds like. So, okay, so I hear potential out of that. This is one of those cases where you go back to the main melody. That's why I don't like the lazy man approach, because the lazy man approach, you don't have full control over the sound. So like as you saw, I stopped the track, but it's still going to play through until the sample is fully played through, which is why the lazy man approach is good for quick cook-ups, whereas the more in-depth. But like I said, we're going to do this first, and we're going to flip it horizontal and vertical just like the track, and hear what it sounds like. Okay, so I'm not liking it, so we're going to just switch it back. One second. Alright, there we go. And we got ourselves a melody and a counter melody. So now you want to do a top melody. And for the top melody, it's not that hard to do. You just right click the main melody, copy it. Then you go to clone after you right click it again. And it's going to bring up a second one. Do this, right click it, hit paste. And then once you hit paste, click the one that you just made, control, and then hit up on the arrow, the up arrow key. You gonna save this stream on your channel or not? Hell yeah, I saved most of them. Yo, sup Suzuki? How you feeling today? So after that, you're gonna want to take the second mel that you made just for the top melody and control up on the D-pad. I already did it, but on the directional arrows, I already did it, so I'm not gonna do it again. And me personally, like I said, Space DNB is a bunch of low end and not as much high end. But if you want to put high end in it, you can. But since the main melody makes up for the high end, I like to take the top melody and bring that down on the velocity. So it just gives it a more spatial sound, but not as much. So it just gives it that more open vibe. And then to finish off the lazy man way of making melodies for Space DNB, you would go to where it says patterns, split by channel. It'll give you an option. You could go to split by channel, and then after that, it's gonna everything you made is gonna give it its own channel rack. So once you do that, you could lay out your melodies any way you see fit for the progression. Me, I'm just going to keep it simple for this case. Bam, bam. Excuse me. Bam, bam. So just a simple progression, and then that's literally your melody. But you're still not going to have full control over it when it ends, because it's going to continue playing out. So what you want to do to fix that, this is if you just want everything to be together. So you're going to go on your timeline, left click it twice until you see that square option, and you're just going to drag it down the timeline. Once you do that, you're going to open up your channel rack or your mixer rack. Go to where it says master. This little button right here, you want to hit that when it's red. Then hit Alt R. And it's going to ask you if you want to record, if you want to mix it. You're not seeing what I'm seeing right now. But then it's going to ask you if you want to render it as its own mixer track. Hit yes, but make sure where it says tail, it says cut remainder. So once it does that, hit extract or render, whatever option it gives you. And then once you do that, it's going to show up here. So now everything you just made that was up here, you see how that still plays and shit? Now everything you just made, you rendered down here. So if you were to play this, and pause, you no longer have to worry about the continuous playthrough because it rendered the whole play track for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Then you can get rid of this. If you want to keep it up there. I normally just get rid of it altogether because once I'm at the point of splitting the mixer tracks, I've already finished the main initial part of the track, which was making the melody. So I normally get rid of them. So that's what I'm going to do. But you could either keep them, so that way if there's something you want to fix, you could fix it. But I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to keep that melody. Also, if you guys want this melody, let me know, or join the Discord. And then once you're in there, just go on the general and say, I need that mel. Because I'm most likely not going to do anything with this melody, the lazy man approach, and I'll just give it to whoever wants it. So, but any questions for that before we move on to the actual nitty gritty as to how I actually do it? Because the way I just gave you was the basic core foundation of it all. So as far as like melody, so any questions? I'm reading the chat real quick. FL Studio Gang for Life, damn straight. Damn, actually interesting information. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Zaza Talker. Please show how you launched the sub melody compose window again. Yeah, sure. So the sub melody, like I said, glad I got this open. That way I could just open all of this back up. Alright, so let's go here. So how I composed the sub melody, like I said, the same thing for the main melody. I just found a random sound that I thought would fit with it. Just slide that on over there onto the mixer track, and then same thing I did with the first melody. I'm gonna right click it, and then I'm gonna hit cut itself. And once you hit cut itself, right click it again and open piano roll, and then you can lay down the nodes anywhere you want to follow the melody. What I normally do is I just follow the same path that the melody already took. And just like that, I make it look easy. I mean, once, like, the way I'm teaching you, I guess I make it look easy, but I'm telling you, if you follow along and just do exactly what I'm telling, because this is all stuff that I genuinely wish I was told when I first started making music, because I would have already been up there if I knew the shit that I know now, if I knew back then. I had to teach myself this. Let's not forget that. So yeah, it's going to look easy, but the main thing that makes it hard for most is that they don't have the drive to develop the workflow of it. Not the workflow, but seeing how quick I can put stuff down, like literal flow, because they're tediously putting things down, which is why I said use the things that they give you, like rehash. Like, we're going to go to view. After hitting this little triangle, you're going to go to view and then go all the way down to scale highlighting. It's going to tell you your scales. And once you pick the scale you want to make the melody in, you can literally put down anything anywhere as long as it's within the white bars. Like the white bars. Anything dark is a half key. So you can literally put down a whole melody on white bars and it would just sound good no matter what. Like, hold on, let's get rid of that. I mean, I got stuff playing in the background, of course, as far as on the mixer track. But, yeah, like, it's easy once you know, like, the basics. And that's why I wanted to teach you guys, because the music industry is too damn gatekept, and the amount of gatekept that we're dealing with is retarded for the sole reason that half these niggas that's gatekeeping fucking suck. Like, and it's not fair to people who genuinely want to learn this shit and want to have outlets and just can't because it's gatekept. So I'm saying fuck that. I'm going to be giving y'all, after the stream, I'll be giving y'all a link to the Yarg website. If you catch my drift, I'm going to be giving you guys free packs, like sound packs and shit. Like, I'm making sure y'all sturdy when y'all start this shit. And if you don't got a DAW, which is what I'm using, FL Studio, if you don't got a software that you use to make your music, I can even make sure you got one of those. Granted, you're going to have to pay for it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, yarg. But we going to be straight. I'm going to make sure y'all good. Ain't no careful space. I know what I'm doing. I ain't incriminating myself. And if I was, I gave 2 fucks. Like, nah. But, like I said, that was the half-assed way, the lazy man approach to it. Now, I'm going to start a new one. Again, new from template. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to save it. Lazy man. Just so I can, send it if need to be. Let's see. So, now for my approach that I normally do, like I said, we're going to have it up to 165. And I like to have full control over my stuff. So again, we're going to go to the Maiden's Blessing drum pack and go to the one-shot pads. I'm going to just pick a random one. I don't necessarily care. Kepler, open that up. And once you put Kepler down onto the mixer track, same thing as before, except we're not going to cut it, so this is where we're going to have the full control. So I feel like I might need to actually just display my whole screen so that way you guys can see what the hell it is I'm even talking about. Let's see. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I'm fixing some shit up. Trash that. Yes. Okay. Sources. Display capture. Add source. Screen. Let's go ahead and put that there. Alright. I'm gonna hide this media player, hide that one, position that. You're gonna see all of that bullshit. We're gonna go back here and then bam, that way you guys can see what I'm actually doing. So like I said, you want to take the Kepler or whatever one you're using. I'm using Kepler. This is the actual way I get down to it. So once you do that, you're gonna right click it, left click it. You're going to open up, it's going to open this up. Once you do that, you want to go to here where it says volume. Take the attack knob. So ATT stands for attack. Take the attack knob, turn it all the way down. The hold. The hold is the key to having full control over this. You want to turn that all the way up. Decay. You don't want any decay because you want full control. You want it to stop when you want it to stop. So turn the decay all the way down. You don't want any sustain. You don't want it to sustain because there's no decay, so it's not going to sound good. And then release, you want that all the way down because, again, you want full control. So it should look like a box when you're done with all that. The only thing that should be up is the hold. So once that's there, go to where it says mode. From resample, you're going to want to put it at stretch, and it's automatically going to stretch it on to beat. Right click it, go to piano roll. Let's say I wanted this to be in the scale of F minor. So we're gonna hit this little triangle button, go down to where it says view. Then we're gonna go to scale highlighting. First, you're gonna want to make sure your note grids are highlighted. That way, it tells you which note you need to be pressing. Then scale highlighting. We're gonna want to go F minor. So minor harmonic. Go back, do it one more time. Scale highlighting, and then we're going to hit F. So now, where it says F, that's now white. And since F and C are in the same scale, C is automatically going to be white. E and F is going to be white. G and G sharp is going to be white because it's all in the same relative scale. So, since we're going to be making this melody in the key of F, This is why I said have a full hold on it, because before the lazy man approach, you can just put it down and it's going to play through until it senses another note to be played, and then stop the previous one and start that. Whereas this one, it's going to stop immediately at the tail end of it. That's because I now have full control over it. So what I like to do is I like to throw down simple chord progressions. Okay. Like, there, that's a simple melody progression, but I like to make my melodies choppy, glitchy, like, different. Like, yeah, this melody sounds peaceful and cool and all, but it could have so much more done with it. So what I like to do is I usually like to fuck around with cutting it up. So what I normally do is I would press the C button on the keyboard to bring out my cutter, and I just go cutting anywhere I want. Go nuts. Like, cut the half points, cut the end points, cut the beginning points. Control Z if you fuck up. Hit Control Z and it'll undo your fuck up. Cut the beginning points, cut the middle point of this one, and then shift up, control, and then up on the D-pad, which I taught you guys before, is how you can change semitones. So you see everything starting to come together now. With the lazy man approach, a lot of the stuff you'd be doing in that, you would be doing in this. The only difference is you now have control over the sound fully rather than later on down the line. So, like I said, you could cut things up, move things up and down yourself using semitones. If you want to play around with the sound, Alt-Y, like I said before, to flip it horizontally. Everything I taught you in the first section automatically applies to the second section of this part. So, I do want to hear what it sounds like reversed, though. Okay, so now the melody sounds all over the place, but there's a reason for that. This is where the glitch shit comes in hand. This is why none of my melodies have any coherent pattern to it whatsoever. Because the point of music is to make what you feel like sounds good. There is no formulaic. The only thing that's formulaic is the initial setup. After you have the initial setup down, you can do whatever you want and your music is gonna sound great. My aunt used to tell me you could please people some of the time, you could please people none of the time, but you can't please everyone all the fucking time. There's gonna be people who like your music, there's gonna be people who love your music, there's gonna be people who you alright, you kinda mid, then there's gonna be people who absolutely just hate or anything you fucking do. Fuck it. Make music because you want to make music. That's the thrill of this. So, like I said, it sounds chaotic and hectic, but this is where we're getting to the next part. So, what I like to do is add glitch notes, and what glitch notes are is just stuttered notes. So, remember when I told you, when you want to select all of them or certain things, hit Control or Command, depending on what you're on, left click and drag. In this case, I just want this one note right here. So I'm going to zoom in, go to the timeline, and just hit the zoom in option on the mouse, like the little scale thing, scroll wheel. And then, since that's highlighted red, you're going to hit Alt, and then you're going to hit U. So it's going to make a chopper. It's going to make it a chop. So, and it's all it does. So I like how it sounds like that, but I do want to make it fade out just a tad bit. So this is like I said, want to change the velocity, hover over whatever note before. I'm teaching you the same thing from the first step. Whatever you're hovering over your note that you want to change the velocity of, hit Alt, and then the scroll wheel, just bring it down a little bit. And I like to make like stair drops. So just lower them all down into a stair drop until you get about here. And then you want to do the same thing to the other side, but bring it back up. So it'll sound like this. It'll give it that in and out glitch noise. But I do want to change this back up to here. This here. This here. Because I want to give it a natural glitchy sound. I don't know how glitch can be natural, but there we go. Melody's done. Literally, that's it. Just chop up and play around with the sounds. That's how most great music even is made. No one is making music with the aim of, oh yeah, I'm about to make a Billboard Top 100 #1 on the chart type shit, and then they actually succeed at it. Like, no, a lot of the people who make great hits usually happen because of a fucking accident. They're playing around with sounds. They're perfecting their craft. They're honing their skills. So just doing what I just did, just chopping around, like I didn't have a whole plan as to how to approach this. I just chopped shit the fuck up until it sounded good to me, and then I went with it. So that's all it is for that. As far as like the melody, for the opposite way, shit, why did I do that? For the opposite way, as far as like making melodies, it's the opposite side of the lazy man approach. So yeah, and that's done. We're not going to do too much with this melody because the rest of it is literally the same thing as the lazy man approach, but the way that I taught you. So if you need a refresher, grab whatever sound you want to do it this approach instead of the lazy man approach. Grab whatever sound, drag it to the channel rack, left click, go to this little line thingy right here, attack all the way down, hold all the way up, decay all the way down, sustain all the way down, and release all the way down. Other than that, go nuts. You have free range, and you can mess around with the sound waves and shit, links to the sounds and shit, doing that. So now that we got that out the way, I'm going to be teaching you guys. Wait, any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Do you guys need me to recap anything or anything in particular as far as like sound manipulation in this segment? Chopped up the beat until it started flowing. Dead ass. But 1 second. Give me a sec. Alright. Close that up. Bam. Alright, thanks for the lesson, boss. I'm excited to get started for my own. Chopped up the beat until it started flowing. Exactly, that's all you gotta do. Chop it up. But since there's really no questions, we're gonna move on to the next part, which is bass selection. So I know you guys are ready for me to just start with the drum breaks because that's all anybody honestly cares about as far as drum and bass is the drum breaks. But that's the cherry topper. You can wait. Yeah, next we're going to be going over basses. And you could either use the default option that they give you, which is called Blue Bass. Not a bad VST in my opinion. And what I did to bring that up was hit this plus option. And it'll give you a list of VSTs and sounds you can use. Blue bass is the generic bass. You can just make simple bass lines. Like, I'm not really doing anything in particular. Just putting those down. That there. That there. I'm not doing anything in particular as far as like that with boo bass, because I only use boo bass if I'm making like house or deep house and shit. But if you don't have any like 808s or bass sounds, boo bass is your next best bet for using, because you could also manipulate it to any sound pattern that you honestly wanted to. So if you want more bass, no treble, and just some mid, or if you just want all bass, no mid, no treble, or I don't know why, mid and treble, you can manipulate it and do a bunch of different things with it. So, but me, I'm using my golden era shit, because everything in that pack was custom curated over the years, literally by me, and it's not even that many sounds in it. It's just these are the most perfect sounds for space DnB that you could use. So when it comes to basses and 808s, you want like loud deep frequency, not loud deep frequencies, but low deep frequency. So you want more back end than high end. Like, they all have one thing in common: they're more low end than high end. So in this case for Kepler, I'm going with bright 808, because the Kepler pad, it sounds spacey enough by itself without a counter melody, and you'll see why I say that. So that just means that 808 has to make up for the missing low end that Kepler can bring out itself. So same thing you did with Kepler once you bring the bright 808 down. And I highly recommend doing this with all basses and 808s, because those are the sounds you're gonna need to have full control over to make the track sound right. Otherwise, it bleeds over and there's gonna be hella distortion. And yes, we like distortion, but no, we hate distortion. So once you put it onto the mixer track, left click it, open that up again, tack all the way down. It's literally repetition. That's all it is. That's the best way to put this. It's repetition. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Okay, so then from there, right click it, hit piano roll. I'm going to keep the bass simple because I'm doing a tutorial. I'm not trying to get it too nuts. So we're going to do a 3-step drum pattern. So all the 3-step drum pattern is these 3 drums, these 3 squares. So every beat has 4 steps into it. So these lines indicate each beat. So that's 4 beats to a bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's 4 steps to each bar. There's 4 steps to each beat. So when I say a 3-step 808, instead of putting it the 4 steps, which would make it a beat, I'm making it a step. So I'm pulling it back 1. So it's going to be 1 beat early, 1 step early than what it needs to be. And that's it. And I want to keep it simple. So this. And what I just did with that was I highlighted it, Control Alt, and then I hit Shift, hold down Shift, left click, and then you just drag it out. And that's how you quick mass duplicate. So let's go ahead and pull that back over, and then do that again, because I'm also going to change the drum pattern up for the second half. So simple shit like that. These last two aren't on key. I'm just now realizing. Smooth that up. But simple shit, that's literally a basic 3-step 808 pattern. And what makes it a 3-step 808 pattern is, like I said, instead of riding the beat, instead of riding on each like beat per bar, it's writing 3 steps of each beat per bar. So it gives it a little back delay. So it's like the melody is normal, but the 808 is trying to keep up, but it's on, instead of a doom 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 doom, it's doom 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 doom. So I feel like that's the, all right, metronome. So you hear how the bass is hitting before the tick happens after the first one. That's because it's trying to catch up. And that's a 3-step 808 pattern. So it gives it a little groove, a little delay, a little bounce to it. So there's your bass for that. And now we're going to talk about the cherry topper. The moment y'all honestly been waiting for, the fucking drum breaks. How do you go about those? So there's 5 different ways, but I'm only going to go over 2. I'm not going to overwhelm you. I already gave you guys a lot of information so far as like what to do. And like I said, the point of this stream is to give you guys like bare basics, backbone, what to do. So when I do start pushing out more tutorials, you guys will understand what I'm talking about, because I'm not going to go in depth. So I like how there's so many experimental ways simple beats can be. Exactly. Like, let's put it this way. Some of the greatest producers out there right now are making thousands upon thousands of dollars on beats that took them 2 minutes to fucking make with zero effort whatsoever. This shit is not rocket science. Like, once you crack the code, it's easy. So, we're moving on to breaks now. And like I said, there's 5 different ways you could go about making your breaks. But I'm only going to go over 2 of them, because the other 3 are very time consuming, and I'm not trying to be sitting here for 14 hours explaining the simplicities of a drum break. So, we're going to go over the sampling option, and then we're going to go over the chop option. And they both may seem similar, but they are not. Sampling requires you to use a sampling software or a sampling hardware, and a bunch of, not a bunch, but basic knowledge of how to count. If you can't count, there's no fucking hope for you. I'm sorry, wrap it the fuck up. This is not for you. So, me personally, this isn't a free VST. You have to pay like 12 British pounds or whatever. It's not expensive, even the slightest. So, I'm not from Britain, but 12 British pounds at the time I paid for it was like the equivalent to what, $15? Still not a deal breaker. So, Amigo VST, or Amiga, however you want to say it. It's Amigo, but a lot of people call it different names. And what I like about Amiga Sampler, which by the way I fucking live by, I can change how this shit looks. It's an old 32-bit retro style sampler. A lot of video game companies from back in the day would use this to make their video game classic DnB style drums and shit. Like, you can change the color of it. Like, you can literally make it your own. So, like, we're going to go with a pink vibe there. Background. Make it darker. Put that there. Make that there. Palette color. Like, you can literally just play around with it. Make it your own color and shit. Make it your own style. I'm going to keep it at pink. But this is Amigo Sampler. And once you load that up, like I said, it's like 12 pounds. I did say we were going to use Maiden's Blessing. Well, you're going to use Maiden's Blessing. It follows the same thing. But since I'm already here, you're going to find a break. It don't matter to fucking break, because one thing about Amigo is it automatically chops your beats to be at the BPM that you set it. So, because not all breaks are going to be at the same BPM. So, me personally, we're going to chop up Damn I'm Good. Or Damn I'm Good. There we go. And what Amiga VST is, it's a sampler as well as a tracker. So you have your sample option. So every time you press it or press the key down, as far as like this, you could play around with it and shit. Because it's on sample mode, so it's gonna stop and play when you want it to. But that's not how I use Amigo. The best way to get the full usage out of Amigo, yeah, the sample mode is great, but you're gonna want to use the slice mode because slicing is the best way to sample, in my opinion. So you go to auto slice, and it's gonna look overwhelming. Trust me, it's not. Once you learn the way that I'm telling you, you'll understand why it sets it up like that. But it's going to auto chop it. And as you can see, it automatically chops it at the relative point of start. Some of them you might have to fix. Some of them you could just work with as is. But for the most part, you're not really going to have to adjust where the lines are. And if that's too many lines for you, if you want every single percussive hit to be sampled, then yeah, 3 is cool. But me, I like to give it some leeway and put it at threshold 4, so it plays out at least 2 parts of it, and then 2 parts of it, and then certain segments is 1 part, so it gives us some variation, so that way you could go nuts with it. So now that we got that, when working with Amigo, your sample cuts are going to start at C5. If you play anywhere under C5, it's not going to work, because that's not where it's set at. But it's all over there, so you can sample around there from C5 up until where it no longer plays. But I did hear something I liked. Down to C, and this is literally all it takes to make drum breaks. And that's literally it. That's all you really need to do to make your drum breaks. Like, as far as sampling, that's just something basic. I'm not going to get too in-depth on the drum breaks because I feel like drum breaks, you should be able to do whatever you want to do with it. If you want to make shit like... I have a bunch of different drum breaks that I've made that you would think makes no fucking sense, but throw it on a track and you'll be quite surprised. Like, eventually you'll find yourself just making drum breaks just cuz. Like, there's no pads, no melodies, no nothing. You literally would just find yourself making drum breaks. Like, literally made, like, a symphony type shit out of just drum breaks. Hold on. Like, it has no... Like, shit like... Like shit like that. Like you literally can just find yourself just making breaks for no apparent reason and just saving them for future use. Like that's the beauty of making your own breaks rather than constantly sampling other people's breaks or using the stereotypical amen brother break on repeat loop constantly. Like it's a lot of sleepy is the best break, sleepy break. So yeah, that was Sleepy Break. But what is the difference from like the built-in samplers in FL Studio from Amigo? So in my opinion, the best. I'm assuming you mean like what's good. What's a good alternative for Amigo if you don't have Amigo? So if you open up, hit this plus option. You could use either Slice X. It's literally the exact same setup as Amigo. I can even put it side by side for you guys real quick. Hold on. The exact same setup for Amiga, just more modernized. It's like, and then once you put down a sample, it's the exact same setup, just more modernized. That's literally it. So, Slice X is a good option. Delete that. Or you can just use stereotypical Fruity Slicer. The most base thing you could do is Fruity Slicer. And what makes Fruity Slicer beginner friendly is you can load it onto the piano track, and once you do load it onto piano track, it automatically scales and slices everything for you on the track, so you know exactly where everything is. My only thing that I don't like about Fruity Slicer is because of this. It looks overwhelming, and not gonna lie, it is. That's a lot. You shouldn't have to slice 103 different segments of one sample just to make a solid track. So that's why I say use Amigo or Slice X, because it gives you free range to do what you want to do with your samples. What's your most nonsensical beat that sounds good? That sounded good? Christy Montero. I'll play it for you guys in a second. But Christy Montero would probably actually no. It's not my most nonsensical beat. My most nonsensical beat would be Simple-ish, because I literally turned an entire metalcore genre song into a jazzy sample into a basic trap jazzy sample loop. I turned it from 3 different genres into one, and it didn't make any sense. Is there a built-in sampler in Logic like Slice or Amigo? Not entirely sure, but I could look that up. Give me a second. What's a built-in sampler for Logic? By the way, buddy, leave Logic the fuck alone. I'm not going to bully you for using Logic, but leave Logic alone. What's a built-in sampler for Logic? Multi-sample and quick sampler is what your guys' equivalent to Slice X and Fruity Slice would be. So, any other questions before we move on to the next segment? Because I'm not going to stay too long into breaks, because I want to move on to the next part, which is mixing. So, there's no questions. Let me know. Or mixing and track layout, because those kind of go hand in hand. So, if there's no more questions, we're going to move on to the next segment. Truth be told, I kind of want to take a quick break. I've been running my mouth too fucking much. So, I'm going to put Weekday Vampire back on and hit the BRB screen. And I'm going to go get some water and get some air. Why leave Logic alone? Because Logic doesn't give you the same amount of ease as access as most DAWs do. Don't get me wrong, each DAW has their own shitty thing to fuck about them. My only complaint about FL Studio is a great DAW, but my only complaint is you literally have to teach yourself They don't teach you shit how to use FL. They open up a project that some white bitch and a bunch of other niggas made that's got like 60,000 track outputs, which by the way, you'll never need as many track outputs as they give you on the initial open up to make any track whatsoever. But they just open up a project and then they tell you check out everything that's going on here, and it's overwhelming. They don't teach you shit. So, yeah. But that's FL Studio. But like Logic, it doesn't have the same latency. So when it comes to recording, like recording vocals, Logic is top tier goated, without a doubt. The latency input is great for Logic. Logic is great for vocals, but everything else fucking sucks in my opinion. Cakewalk, great for beginners all around. Audacity, great for intermediate levels, but more so for mixing than anything else. Ableton is just, it's name brand. Ableton is literally name brand. It's literally just what everybody in the industry fucking uses. So, FL Studios is great for beat production more so than vocal production. Like, every DAW has its own purpose that it's really good at, but every DAW also has its flaw bars. Yeah, let me read these real quick. Beatrice and homie, that's the magnetic quality. I just have to make sure nothing is set. I could get space in the hot water. Let's see. This track was made by a witch bitch and a bunch of NWAs. Y'all NWAs got crunch raps. Bro, thanks for the stream again. I should go now. I would be happy to see guys in the future. But, yeah, nah. I'm gonna take a quick breather real quick. Let Weekend Vamp play on loop for you guys. But I'm gonna go get some air. I will be back. Let me fix my screen up real quick. Where the fuck? Display options. Bam. Do that. There we go. Musician. Well, I'll be back. You guys go ahead and enjoy the loop. I'm going to get some air, some hydration, you know, relax for a quick second. And we'll get back to class. Recess starts now. See you all in 10 minutes. so since we already have it open, I guess this will be the track that we'll be mixing. But to any newcomers in the stream, welcome. I'm going to be docking your grade automatically by 20 points, so you're automatically at a C plus now, instead of a A with everyone else, and that's only because you showed up late. But last segment we talked about easy approaches to making your melodies. I gave you guys 2 methods you could go about. We have the lazy man approach, and then we have the more in-depth approach, which is full control, as I like to call it, the full control approach. We went over that. We've gone over the different types of basses you can use. We've gone over counter melodies. We've gone over mel switch ups, technically speaking. Not too much. I'll be getting more into that on this because that goes in hand with mixing. We went over breaks and how to make your own breaks as far as sampling or chopping. I didn't talk too much about chopping because this case I chopped a break, so I'll be talking about it on here before getting into mixing. What else? We talked about exporting your tracks so that way you can have control over it after you laid everything down. I'll be recapping that because you kind of need to do that in order to begin the mixing process. So, my fault, taking a hit of the blunt. But, yeah, so now we're going to be moving on to the mixing route. But like I said, chopping first because that goes in hand with mixing as far as laying down your tracks. So, for this one, all I did was a simple, regular old funky drummer break. It was at 170 BPM, but since I'm working at 100 BPM, yeah, you'll never see me work at 100 BPM. Technically speaking, 100 BPM is just 200 BPM, but I'm not making breakcore. I'm making like a lo-fi-esque, emo-esque, because there's going to be vocals on this. Emo, lackadaisical, nonchalant kind of track. So, but I used the funky drummer break, so, and I just time stretched it. And that's it. That's like the main premises of the break. And as far as chopping, like, oh shit, dropped my blunt. Hold up, I dropped my blunt. I ain't getting into that right now. But, if you know, you know. But, use the funky drummer break, and I just did chopping. So again, you take C, and I just chopped up random points of the break. So if you zoom in, you could see where each part of the drum is. So the red part of the drum is the kick. That white part is a ghost note, and that sharp incline is a snare. So boom, boom, snare, boom, snare, boom, boom. So once you are able to see where each individual thing is on a sample for chopping, you'll actually start to be able to read where each thing is without having to hear it. That's the best part about chopping and sampling. You eventually learn where certain things are on a sample without having to hear it, because you just automatically know. You've done it enough to see the signs. That's what it's at. You can read sound waves at that point. You no longer need just your ears to make music. So, yeah, the chop, I ain't getting too much into chop because it's the same as using a sampler, except you're doing it manually. You're throwing it down, and then you're just chopping it up, and you're rearranging it anywhere you want and shit. I'm not going to really do an in-depth description of that because you see it here, but I'm going to zoom in so you guys can get a closer look at it and see what's going on in the chop process. So each line you see is where I chopped it at. So you'll see that I chopped it, and the reason why it looks different in certain areas, because I'll either have chopped it, and then there were certain parts I could have just, slid back, pulled that there, pulled that back or whatever. It's not going to sound good because I'm not really reading the sound wave, and then just put that there. But like, I chopped it and just rearranged the drum pattern to fit the style that I wanted to make. So I wanted this to fit more of like a nice old school boom bap lo-fi-ish, but with DnB drums. So it gives off that. And then I don't want the drum break to go stagnant, so I gave it some switch ups as well. So it's got some switch ups and extra kicks or flutters and doom doom, like, you know, you'll see. And then for the most part, I just had the drum literally coast with the beat. And then that's it. That's all it is for laying your drum patterns down. And then knowing when to... So, for instance, you see right here, I have blank spaces because that's signifying that that part of the song is done. This is where the math comes in. I know we all hate math. Oh, the fuck well. It's music. There's going to be math involved. This is where the math comes in. So as you can see, it's lined up like this for a reason, not just because I thought it sounded cool, because there actually is a mathematical formula when it comes to making music. Yes, you could just make a run-on beat in an endless loop. That's cool, but you also want to add dynamic to your beat. So you want to add cues to let the listener know it's about to switch up here. Granted, I don't have all the ear candies and sound effects down, but you still know when it's about to switch up, because this part right here is a stutter to let you know it's a continuation onto it. So as you can see, we got from the fourth bar to the ninth bar, or the eighth bar technically speaking. So we got the fourth bar to the eighth bar. This to here to there is 8 bars. So most hooks or most verses are anywhere from 16 to 32 bars. A hook is anywhere from 8 to 16 bars. So we got the first half of the drum breaks going from 4 bars to 8 bars. So I'm gonna just let y'all hear that by itself. And you see how it's just going to continue on from that. That's just letting you know it's a continuation. Now, if I was to highlight the 4th bar all the way to the 16th bar, you'll hear that there's going to be a transition. And I'm going to have the metronome on. Count each tick that you hear from the metronome. And when you get to 16, you should be to here at the end of this, the end of the doom, 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 doom. So every 16 bars, you want to give some kind of notification that you're going to be switching it up, just to add some like variation to the track. So. Exactly. So that's just a basic 16 bar drum loop, and then after that, doom, 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 doom. Then that's when you should be adding something in or changing something up to signify that that's the end of that segment. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it one more time, and then we're gonna go more in depth as far as like layering out and pattern management, so you know how to make your variations and set yourself up for beat switch ups, and how to know when a beat switch up is going to happen, how to put down markers for yourself to come back to later, like, okay, I got to come back here to fix this up, like stuff to make your life easier when it comes to making your beats more dynamic. So I'm gonna let you guys hear it one more time. And this is the switch up right here. And since this part would be classified as an intro, from 1 bar to 4 bar would be classified as a pre-intro. This 4 bar to 16, my bad, 4 bar to 12 bar would be classified as a intro slash hook, most likely an intro. And then this is also helping me for when I put vocals down too. So if you do put down vocals, this also helps you how to read a format. From bar 12 on to bar 20, bar 12 to bar 21 is going to be the hook. And then from bar 21 to about bar 36 is going to be the verse. 36 and so on, your bridge slash hook, however you want to make it, and so on. So that's more so pattern arrangement simplified, but we're going to go more in depth on that. I'm going to start from here actually, so that way I can show you guys an easier way. So what I like to do is control left click each one of the boxes until they're all highlighted, and then I like to throw them all down at once. Hit Control B, copy yourself about 8 of them. So this is how I'm able to make my song format. So it's automatic. I don't want to start with everything playing right now. So I'm most likely just want the guitars playing. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to keep these two because these two are the guitars. And then so from here to here would be 12 bars. Hold on, 4, 8, 16. It would be 16 bars. From here to here would be 16 bars. So there's your quick intro right there. Then let's say I'm gonna want to add my bass to it after the 16 bars is up. I'm gonna take out the Rhodes. I'm gonna keep one of the basses. I'm most likely gonna keep this one and take that one out because the highway arp is also a bass. I didn't say that, but then I'm gonna keep that going for 16 bars. Then I want the EP Rhodes to start playing, but I only want part of the Rosetta Rhodes to play, so I cut half of the Rosetta Rhodes down, keep the EP Rhodes on, Pink 808 off, Highway off. Then I want like a simple little switch up without the guitar, take those off, keep the piano on, but I also want to switch the bass up, so take that off, take that off. Then I'm going to just keep these 3 on. Do the same for the next 16. You want to add like a little variation bass with the bass that's already playing. You got your highway bass. So then after that, you're going to want your hook. So your hook, everything's pretty much going to be playing with the exception of those 2. And then you got yourself your formatted system. And then I'm going to show you, in the whole shades, this isn't going to be the final project on my end, but this is just showing you like quick ways you could go about making beats really quick. There's your intro. Bam. Pull that there. I'm gonna mute that. Pull this there. And then bam. Literally, you have your whole song formatted. I'm just going based off of this. You have your whole song formatted now. And that's literally it, pretty much, as far as like arrangement. So, like I said, easiest way to go about that, do it one more time. Not really one more time, but you know what I mean. Control, left click all of them, make sure they're all highlighted, and then you bring them all over. Hit Control B 7 times, and then just start working on your arrangements, working like that, and just taking random shit out, making your arrangements any way you want to make it. That's the easiest way I go about making a basic format for a song. And not gonna lie, I might keep this part in. I might keep the second part I just did a demonstration for. I might keep it. I really don't know. But it sounds good altogether so far. But then that's literally the song put down. So if you didn't feel like mixing, congratulations, you made your first song. Like, you really did. And you ain't got to do much more after that. But me, I want to mix it. This beat's already partially mixed because I was working on it earlier. But me, I want to mix it. So, to mix, you go to your channel rack. You right click, you left click, and you just drag down all of those. And then once you do that, Control, left click, hold all of that down, and then Control L, and it'll put it on the mixer track. I'm not going to do it because I have it set up a particular way that makes it easier for me to find where shit is. And let me actually save real quick. Save. And then after that, we're going to start with learning how to EQ out volume so nothing is clashing with everything. So if I was to put everything at normal, because I'm glad I saved, because I'm going to just reload the old one, because I'm just giving you guys an example. So if I was to reset everything at normal, it sounds good in the beginning. Like, everything is at normal volume, it's just loud. And then when the bass comes in, it starts to distort. Where do you find your breaks? It's beautiful. I actually make my own breaks, or I just go on Reddit and I look up jungle DNB breaks, or I just go to the label, or just go to the people that's part of the label I'm signed to and see if they got breaks I can sample. But Meta, can you post the BeatStars link again? If you go on my BeatStars, there's a free break called Maiden's Blessing Break Pack. It comes with 21 shot pads and breaks that I've made. So you could use those or sample those or make your own breaks out of them. But as you guys can hear, at normal volume, everything is clashing with everything. Like, yeah, it sounds great, but it's clashing, and I wouldn't feel comfortable dropping that because I like distortion, but we hate distortion. So that's the goal. Keep in mind, you never want your beat to distort. So what I like to do before starting off any track, as quiet as it's kept, in this case I didn't have to, but I would like to add in this thing called 1K soft clip. So in order to find that on FL Studio, so all 1K soft clipper is just a soft clip. So if you can't find it, I'm going to give you guys a good alternative to use for soft clipping. There's this stock plugin called Fruity Soft Clipper. All it does is enhances the loudness of your song without passing a certain threshold. And you, in most cases, you don't, unless you have an artist on your track, you don't want the threshold to go over 0. 0 is literally the sweet spot. If you want an artist to go hop on your track or whatever, you want your tracks to be at a decibel count of negative 3 dB. So that way it gives the artist headroom to rap so they can hear themselves and rap at the same time, or sing, or whatever it is they need to do, and not battle with the track, which would make it terrible. So remember, if you're not having any artist on it, the goal is to keep it at 0 decibels. Like at that, this is the sweet spot. I mean, you could always go over, and anything over 3 decibels is too loud. So you want that sweet spot to be 0 decibels, and that's what a soft clipper is for. It allows you to reach the luffness, which is the overall loudness, but stay at a set decibel. So, like I said, in this case, I didn't need one, but because of the way I was mixing it. But if you don't know mixing too much, you want your threshold to be at least around -3 dB. Hold on, here we go, -3 dB. And you want your post to be up just a tad bit, around 83%. So when you do that, it's bringing the track down to -3 decibels, but it's bringing the loudness back to 0. So it gives it that overall perception of it being loud, but at the same time it's not really loud. Like, you see how it's at 0 here, whereas before it was way louder, but it sounds loud, but it's not loud. Now this is what it would sound like if I turned it off. Like, you see how it automatically exceeds that and it just goes over the 3, like, well beyond? Like, that's the difference. It makes it louder, but it keeps it at a set decibel. So, but in this case, I didn't need one because I prefer it not to have one for this kind of track, because I want everything to be heard. Nothing should be excluded. So now that you figured out the soft clipper, we're going to highlight all of this. Again, control, left click, and then you're going to select all of them. What I like to do is the good old raise measurement. So the raise measurement is, I start with my basses, then I start with my drums or my kicks, hi-hats, but in this case just the bass, because the drums by itself is a sample, so I don't have to do too much with it. So in this case we're going to start with the bass. Pay no mind to these. I'm going to actually turn these off, because you don't need to know about those just yet, because we're not there yet. Okay, so turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. Turn that off, turn that off, and that's good. So we're going to start with our bass first. So what the goal for the bass is, you want your bass to be anywhere from -3 dB to 0 dB. When it comes to drum and bass, or space DnB in general, because this is kind of like a branch off of space DnB, because I'm trying something new. So, you want your bass for space DnB to be from anywhere from -3 dB to 0 dB. So the good old measurement system is literally just raise as you hear. Okay, so I got it there. You want to do the same thing for the next one. But make sure you mute that, or else it's going to clash and distort with your other basses. Let's put that there. Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing for the melodies. So in the rule of thumb, when it comes to the measurement, bass, kick, snare, keys, hi-hats, pads, ear candies. So we did the bass. Like I said, the drum itself is fine. I just got to turn that volume down on the sample itself. But we did the bass. The drums is fine. Now we're working on keys. And that would be the EP Rhodes and the Rosetta Rhodes. So and then for keys, you normally want to reach the -12 to -9 dB mark. And do the same for Rosetta. Rosetta is right here. Perfect. And then next would be strings/pads. In this case, that would be the weekday vamp guitar. And for that, since it's high frequency, you want those to reach from mid ground, like around -5, -4 dB to -1 dB. So it's going to be a little off, but you want that to sit like right at the tippy top of the track. But like I said, I have things that I'm using on it to actually make it louder. So, but in this case, you want it to be, well, in my case right now, I don't want it to be as high as I said. But for Space DNB is high end, there's going to be a lot of low end. So you can afford to have that loud of a high end on it. But in this case, it's not that. It's kind of all mellowed in. So I don't want it to be too loud. So we're going to keep it at around 12 dB, 15 dB, you know. So after that, you got your secondary sounds. Which in this case would be the saw bass. Okay, so you hear how everything has a chance to peek through and has its own sound, and it sounds more lush rather than dense. And what I mean by dense is everything is playing at once, at the same loudness, at the same pace, the same tempo. So all we did was just fix the volume, and it already sounds 10 times better, you know? So let's see if there's anything that needs to be said. Space by dropping knowledge. Wasn't them accumulating? They still go on this? Oh, of course. I actually bought an electronic drum set, so I'm going to try to do the amen breaks by hand. Look, if you can manage to pull it off, let me know, Moonbase. Let me know, because I might have something for you if that's the case. But, yeah, so all we did was just change the volume around and make everything have organization and placement. Well, we didn't get too much into placement yet. We're about to get into that in a minute. So next, after that, we're going to get into placement and panning. So with the guitar, it's fine. I'm going to keep it where it's at, but I do want it to have, like, think, walked in the club at LA, whatever the fuck that bitch said. Think that, but more twingy, like sparkly. That's what Effect Rack is for, which, by the way, is free, if I'm not mistaken. And what I did was I took a micro shift, and what that does is it makes the track sound more lush and sparkly. So I took the micro shift, dragged it over, and then I just played around with this focus knob. If you just play around with this, it's going to give it a digital, like, fluttery sound. Versus without it. It makes it sound more wet instead of dry. And then to give it like that ethereal feel, I just threw a fruity delay on there and then raised this knob up once and put ping pong on. And then you take this master knob and I just turned it down to about 4%. So it just gives it a small delay. Versus without it. Like, see how it gives it that swing and that groove to it? So that's what I did for the vamp, the guitars. Then for your Rhodes, when it comes to your keyboards, pianos, or pads, I cannot stress this enough. Stereo enhance it and add a reverb, because without it, it sounds great. But Space DNB is about the ethereal low end of space. You want the listener to feel like they're calm, at ease, and just floating through space. So how do you do that? Trick their brains. I'm literally giving y'all the sauce as to how my music is so good too, and that's crazy. You trick their brains into thinking that 9 times out of 10 they're high as fuck and they're smoking listening to this good shit. So you're tricking their brain into thinking that they're in an open environment where they can just be themselves and breathe. Like, it's called Space DnB because I'm literally using a scientific formula that really shouldn't be used in music. But hey, fuck it. Low end frequency hertz, like I said, is all about the low end. You want to give them that feeling that they're open and they're just in a mansion. Like I can just float and put my arms and legs out and kick nothing. Like that ethereal feel, like they're in space, like everything is going to have a reverb, everything is going to have a delay, everything is going to be talking like the power within and type shit, you know what I mean? Like everything has a purpose in Space DnB. So yeah, I say music has no formula, but the way I developed Space DnB, I guess I can say it has a formula, but we're not going to get too much into that. So when it comes to your keys and your pianos, stereo enhancer, and this is free for FL Studios, stereo enhancer, and is going to start you off with the knob looking like this. I want you to take that knob, and if you turn it to the plus, it's going to spread it. It's going to make it stereo. It's going to separate it into a stereo. So instead of it sounding one dimensional, it's splitting it in half and doubling it. So if I was to keep this knob at a center, where's the piano at? Right here. Alright, so if I was to put it at the center, it would sound one dimensional. Now if I crank this all the way, it's going to separate it, diminish it, but separate it so it sounds more lush. But I don't want it to be fully diminished. So I just want like a good 25% of it, a good 30-25%. So we put it there. And it already sounds 10 times better. It sounds like there's two pianos playing for you instead of one, but at the same time in harmony. So, but we're not done yet. After that, you want to add a reverb. And the reason why breakcore artists' tracks sound so ethereal and shit, they're literally doing the same thing. Throwing a stereo enhancer on and throwing a reverb on there. You want to turn that on. And without it, you know what it sounds like. Now, when you turn it on, you want to turn this wet knob around 90%. Around 90%. You can go all the way to 100. Around 90%. And turn the dry down. No, keep the dry at 100 and turn the early reflection down to 45. Like you hear how more open in space and how it continues going, how it continues going after you pause it. That's how you know it's working. Now, if you want to go to the maximum with it, take the size knob and turn it up just a tad bit, so around 62. And this is what it sounded like before it. And then with it right about now. Tell me that shit don't sound so much better. Do you make music with FL Studio Mobile? No, but I know people who do, and that shit sound tough. It's just I couldn't get around it. It's like, I guess in a way I started everything on mobile to the point where I got tired of mobile, so I grinded for a laptop and then moved to laptop. So I guess in a way, there's nothing biased about FL Studio Mobile. It's just me personally, I couldn't understand it, and even then, it's like I got tired of mobile. So I'm probably not the best person to ask about mobile. Let's see. So yeah, stereo enhancer and reverb. Do the same for Rosetta, except without the reverb, because Rosetta Rhodes, the difference between a electric piano Rhodes and a Rosetta Rhodes already has a reverb installed on it. So you don't have to add the reverb, just add a stereo enhancer. Just quality of quality of life improvements type shit. That's all it is. So you ain't gotta do too much with that stereo enhancer, and do the same thing around 30. And then your bass, I like to play around with my basses from time to time. So for your bass, I like to throw a simple EQ down and just fuck around with the sound waves so it sounds normal. Not normal, but it sounds different than what it originally started with. And then I go from there. So let's go ahead and turn that on. So that's without the EQ. So what I recommend when it comes to EQing is just play around with the bands. Never touch band 1, because band 1 is literally your basses. So best way I can describe is from here to where band 1 is your sub bass. That's what makes space DNB space DNB. That sub bass area is what makes space DNB space DNB. Don't touch this knob. Anywhere from here to here, do not touch. The bass area to low mids to mids, you could play around and touch. But if you're going to, only do it through one knob. Because if you touch any of these other two knobs within this frequency range, it's going to sound muddy. And a muddy bass is an ugly bass, let's be real. And as far as the high ends, you want to take your high ends on your bass and just completely bring that down. Because you don't need it. It's not that you don't even need it. It just doesn't go in space DNB. Like, why would you want a high end on the bass? Like, the key point focal is the bass. So, turn that high end down all the way to the bottom. And then you have your EQ for it. So it gives it that subtle doom, doom, doom. But what we're going to do is we're going to oomph it up just a little bit. So throw a stereo enhancer on it, and like I said, a stereo enhancer, you're going to either separate it to make it more lush, or squish it to make it monotone. And I love a bass that's monotone, because if the bass is monotone, that means you could go pretty loud with it and it won't distort and fuck up the track. So you could do a lot of good bass rhythms with a monotone bass. Or you could just keep it at a stagnant pace and it won't sound repetitive. So with the stereo enhancer, without the stereo enhancer, and then I'll play it. And then with it right here. Like, you hear how it gives it that oomfier feel to it? Like, it sounds more beefy. Not beefy, but like you added a little more fluff to it. Like, You jipping a nigga off of it. Like, you jipping them off. Like, you somebody ordered a dime and you only had a nick, but you found a way to fluff that nick to look like a dime type shit. So, but we're not done yet. A stereo shaper. And what a stereo shaper is it puts the placement of where the sound that you're working on should be. In this case, space DNB is low end. I like it at the back of the house. 9 times out of 10. So there's something with the brain. I'm not going to get too in depth with it. But when low frequencies enter your ear, into your brain, it's the back part of your brain, the back left part of your brain that's picking up those frequencies. So I like to take the bass and raise it up by 1.3, 1.5 decibels on the left side. So it's louder, but also lower the volume. So again, here we go. dB and LUFS. I meant LUFS, dBs. I raise the dB so it's perceived as louder, but I lower the LUFS. But I raise the LUFS because it's perceived as louder, but I lower the dBs because it's not supposed to be loud. And then I did the same thing with the right side, but opposite. I lowered the LUF, and then I raised the dB. So that way it evens it out. And then after that, you can hear it now, without it first. And then I'm going to turn it on halfway through it. And with it. Like, for headphone users in the chat, I'm sure you guys can hear it more than anything else. Than people who have earbuds in, because it's designed for headphones. With your headphones on, before I turned it on, you heard it going in through one ear to the middle of your head and out through the other. But when I turned it on, you felt it more so sitting in the back pocket of your brain. And you can't lie, it felt satisfying. So I'll let you hear it again without it, and then turn it on midway through. So, and give you the cue. So without it. and then with it. See what I mean? So then for the final part of the bass, it's not loud enough because it's loud enough, but I want it to be a little louder because when everything plays at once, it still needs to peek through because the main focal point is the bass. So Camel Crusher, it's a free compressor. Not going to get into compression this video. That's literally its own tutorial video at some point in time. So shout out Suzuki-san. He actually put me onto this, but Camel Crusher, and then just put it to the British clean section. Shout out to Vegeta. But you don't even want to touch the knobs. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And what Camel Crusher does, it just compresses it. It makes it sound louder, but not too loud. And then if it doesn't sound right or anything, you could go back to your EQ and just EQ it out. And bam, there we go. You EQ'd your first bass. So you're going to do the same with the second bass if you have another bass. You don't really got to... I don't got to go over it because it's the exact same thing as the other one, but it's just a different variation. And then, yeah, you pretty much mixed your entire track. Your track is now completely finished, and we could give it a listen to, even though you didn't per se make this one, but as if you did, give it a little listen to, vibe over. It's not finished until you put your ear candies down, but that's up to you. I will be putting ear candies down with this track, but that's after I throw the vocals down. So if the track sounds good to you, you go through your list of tags and shit. Fuck it, I'm here to piss people off. So, take a tag, throw it down there. It don't matter where you put it at. Most people put it in the beginning. So to answer any questions to anyone else that asked me earlier, why do I keep using the Harvey Birdman sample? This is why. It is my tag. Every time you hear a Harvey Birdman sample with Spaceboy Made It, or Harvey Birdman sample at all, you're going to think Spaceboy Made It. All a tag is just your name. You can't really sign your name on a track. So what other way to do it than a producer tag? It's just like any other artist, is just as an audio file. So my signature, I like Adult Swim, Toonami type shit, old school jungle, like drum and bass. So Harvey Birdman was around that era where it was at its peak for real. So I associate that with my music. Spaceboy made it. What do you have to say about this? Well, Spaceboy made it. So that's the reason why the tag is even why I use it so much, because it's literally my signature. Like someone in the comments pointed out on a video, I just know that producers use tags that have relevance to them as a person or their music. I'm like, okay, Harvey Birdman was old school Adult Swim. The type of music they use is the type of music that I make. So yeah, it has relevance to the music. Like, fuck, even the intro is technically jazz jungle. Like, it's a jazzy jungle. Like, come on. So yeah, but once you are taking a liking to your track and you feel like you're done, throw your tag down, call it a day.
4 years.
But I'm going to let it play through for the final time, and then I'm gonna wrap this stream up, and I'm gonna smoke some more bud, and I'm going to chill the fuck out for the night. And I really do appreciate everyone who showed up. I'll be in the chat with you guys for a little bit while I smoke and talk and have this on loop with you guys. I'm not gonna be talking anymore on the mic. I'm gonna let y'all vibe out. Might even do a quick little space station. So if you're still here, stick around. That's actually what I'm gonna do. A little unwind after class. So, yeah. I appreciate everyone who showed up to class. I'm gonna start doing tutorials at least 2 times a month. This will probably be the only live streamed one because, like I said, I wanted to explain the in-depth basics so that way when I do these tutorials, I'm not constantly repeating myself. I could just refer you back to the live stream and shit, you know? So, oh yeah, the live stream not over, though, but But yeah, that's just the end of class for right now. I'm gonna let you guys vibe out to this track a little bit while I roll up and set up Space Station on the stream, so we can have a little bit of time to listen to some music and shit and unwind and vibe out for the night, and then we'll wrap it up. But yeah, I appreciate you all. I'm Space Boy, and I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. So if you're not fucking subscribed, hit that goddamn subscribe button, or I'm coming to your house and I'm pulling up with laser beams with switches. I'm not fucking playing with you, bro. Hit that subscriber button. Like, it's still my birthday month, and I want to see 10,000 by the end of the month. No exceptions. So hit the subscriber. Do whatever you need to do. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your night. I'll be in the chat with you guys.
Mr. Bannon, how long have you known the boys?
Why, 4 years. Almost half their...
Fascinating. Tell me, Mr. Bannon, what do you have to say about this? Mr. Bannon, how long have you known the boys?
Like 4 years, almost half their...
Fascinating. Tell me, Mr. Bannon, what do you have to say about this? Tell me, Mr. Bannon, what do you have to say about this?
Last night took a L, bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce. You ain't getting shit. Last night took a L, bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce. You ain't getting shit. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce.
Party on nobody, always on the fucking job. I got no hobbies, got the city fucking with me 'cause I'm home, bro. I've been out more than my phone. Don't leave me alone, me on my own. I got a bitch up like an edit. My daddy itchy is genetics. I heard your new shit is pathetic. Your contrast to be shredded. To my dogs on a private jet from the public house, and I kept a G, yeah, $1. Click stars, study like the clearest my mom.
Last night took a L, bounce back, bounce. You ain't last night took a L, bounce back, bounce, bounce. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, bounce, bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back, bounce, bounce, bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back.
Time to lay X every week I bounce. I woke up in beast mode with my girl that's beauty in the beast though. Bitch, I fight these niggas sleep though. Only thing that's sold out is the C-store. Nigga, how you stand before me and I respect my authority. If you fuck with my glory, I'ma drop the L and get gory. I done did everything and said worry. Hella drama, my life story. Faith of a mustard seed, I kept growing. I knew that this life was meant for me. Niggas change up more than wishing wells. Karma come around, I wish them well. Living like I'm on a limitless pill. I kill the scene like I'm dizzy. Crazy like my jacket strapped up. Nigga, I don't act, but I act up. Brown paper bag like the lunch packed up. Back up, nigga.
Last night took a L, bounce back, bounce, 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 bounce back. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Bounce, 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 bounce back.
Fake fuck I cause I feel like I love when I feel like I Beverly Hill West Side. Bitch, I'm feeling you never thought I had best fight. If I hit up your daddy, nigga, you best slide. If you told in that pencil, nigga, you best fight. If you shoot that shit at me, nigga, I best die. Best die, best die, best die, best die. If I'm a fucking narcissist, trouble you catch a cut, bitch, you not eat fuck with that. Pussy, why don't we talking shit? All you can make this ass keep on the 70 got kicked back. I'm a motherfucking monster, in the heart of the month, niggas that boy in the coffin. The way we talking, why don't we talking? I ain't doing no blocking, I'm gonna let that shit rip, leave his ass in blocking.
until you swing the bass.
Tell me, Mr. Bat, what do you have to say about this?
You're listening to Suzuki-san.
I think I miss my place. Bennett, how long have you known the boys?
My 4 years, almost half their.
Tell me, Mr. Bennett, what do you have to say about this?
Damn, I'm good.
Mire, te amo mucho.
Space Boy waiting.